Alright, sweet. We are on. Alright. Okay, so what I'm gonna try today is I'm just gonna grab. I'm checking out Daryl's list right here from the Open, and I wanted to just just copy it and try it out, see how it feels, and then we can think what stuff we like, what stuff we do not like, and go from there. So he's actually running no bailouts at all. Interesting. Second cavern makes a lot of sense. Hornet Queen and a Rick. Second explosives. Thank God he's running second explosives. What am I missing here? One explosives, two relics, one Hornet Queen, Rex Age. Two Rex Ages. That's interesting. Alright, so he's not really digging in on the mid-range sideboard plan then, huh? Okay. Oh, sweet. Thanks for the host, Ryland. Okay, so what we're doing here is I just grabbed Daryl Ayers' list from the Open. Okay, he top 8'd alongside Edgar Magalhães, or he has a really tough last name. But yeah, so this is the list. Interestingly, he's not running any bailouts. He's not running any trackers at all. So I guess that if we're playing against control, like his plan must be some kind of just siding a second cavern and just slam titans. He also has no way of recurring those titans, so we'll see how it plays out. But I wanted to just copy it card for card first before we try out any changes, and then we can see what stuff we like and what stuff we don't like. So we'll fire up a league and we'll get going. We'll get started. I don't think are my notifications on. Amulet Daryl. And there you go. Maybe my volume is off. Yeah, my volume is really low. Alright. So we are off. We're off to the races. Going to go ahead and resize this thing right here real quick. Update the record. And okay. This is a very interesting hand. This is actually super close to a keep. Let's see if I can find the correct size. There we go. Okay, so that should be able to show everything on screen. Very interesting hand. Any green bounce land makes this hand the nuts. Since we have no green bounce land and no cantrip, meaning steerings, nor explore, I'm going to mulligan this hand. And this hand looks quite a bit better, actually. Gonna keep this. Bottom Bojuka Bog. We're gonna be playing against the Graveyard Hate, and I'm going to regret that a lot, but you know, such is life. Arithmetic. Okay, so we're playing probably against Burn. Yep. We're playing exactly against Burn. Primeval Titan. Whoa. Look at us being geniuses and keeping good hands. So here I'm actually not going to play against Searing Blaze, and I'm going to hope that I can yeah, okay, I'm going to find the Vesuva here, which will give us the second green source. Do I want to find the Vesuva, or do I want to I think I want to get the Vesuva here, and I'm actually going to... Thanks for the follow, Panto. How's it going? Yeah, I'm gonna get the Vesuva here. I just want as many sources as I possibly can get. And do I play E on 2 preemptively? So I can crack it next turn if my opponent plays an Eidolon? No, my opponent might play multiple 1-drops, and I might, you know, it might be worth it to just like E on 1. So I'm just going to let it go. Even if it costs me my Amulet, you know, sometimes Searing Blaze here. No, yep, you see? There we go. Playing so well. There you go. Draw me some lands, Goblin Guides. Draw me some lands. And now I'm extremely unhappy that I keep this Vesuva. That I kept this Vesuva earlier. My opponent gonna bolt my Azusa? Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. They know they are dead otherwise. So that's another Azusa, which is cool. Okay, so let's think. Is it worth it for me to just play my forest right here? Because Azusa gets me only up to 5 mana, which of course is not enough to cast Prime Time this turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of see what my opponent does. I'm going to play my forest, and I'm going to E on 1. And we'll see what my opponent does. Considering I will be saving 4 damage, and actually, you know, being able to blow up both Goblin Guides, it might be worth it to just blow up my own Amulet here. Opponent does not attack. Okay, this is great. I just don't blow up anything, and we're good. That's very loose on my opponent's side. He should have 100% attack there and force me to blow up the explosives. Now I don't need to do it. But my opponent seems to be keeping up some kind of interaction here. I think I'm going to play Stronghold, play Ballista on 1, and pass the turn. This forces me to not need to blow up these explosives. Nah, maybe I'll just Ballista on 2. I'm just going to Ballista on 2 here. I don't want to Azusa, because if he has any kind of interactive spell, I'm kind of wrecked. And this also somewhat blanks Searing Blaze this turn. Jace to the face, thanks for the follow. This way I can also just... This Ballista is going to eat some burn spell, and if not, I can just block the Goblin Guide and shoot the other one. So this allows me to also kill both Goblin Guides without needing to actually... And if not... okay, yeah, Bolt goes to face, that's fine. And this allows me to deal with both Goblin Guides without actually needing to blow up my own Amulet. So actually playing the Explosives on 1 turned out to be an amazing play here. It slowed my opponent down quite a bit. So here we have death to triple 1 mana burn spell. But that's fine. So what are we drawing? We're drawing another Summoner's Pact. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to block 1 Goblin Guide, and before damage, shoot the other one. Now we take 0, and opponent passes the turn. Oh, they played land. Okay, so they are super dead then. So what do I do here? I think what I want to do is I just want to play my Simic Chamber, get a prime time, and I'm actually going to go pact for a blue pact. I can of course not haste this Primeval Titan without getting an Azusa, and Azusa kind of plays into my opponent's stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around Skullcrack, because Skullcrack, if I go get Radiant Fountain plus something else, Skullcrack kind of like wrecks me real hard. So I'm going to play around Skullcrack by simply transmuting for a blue pact. This is one of the rare scenarios where actually transmuting for a pact seems, like a good play. Considering my opponent did not fire double Boros Charm, I'm of course not going to play around double Boros Charm because I would be dead already. So pacting for a blue pact here, transmuting for a blue pact here sounds like the best option, and should definitely seal this game away for us. And I'm of course not going to counter anything but the very last burn spell they shoot at me. Oh, decklist command. Okay, so I'm playing. I can actually just set up a link to Daryl's list, so I'm going to do that real quick. StarCityGames.com. Boros Charm resolves, doesn't matter. Okay. Modern Eidolon does literal nothing. Oops, what's going on? So many ads. Eidolon is fine. Too late for Eidolon. My opponent is probably not going to block here. Okay, so my opponent did not force me to use my pact, which is of course amazing for me. Playing the Amulet here is not a good idea. So there we go. Sorry about this. I'm trying to set up the deck list command real quick. There it is. So it's this link. Copy. Com deck list. And paste. Is this how it works? I think that's how that works. So let me know if that works. I can actually check myself. Deck list. No, it doesn't work. Yes, it works. Sweet. Okay. Yes, move the top. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Alright, is that good? So here, options. Option 1, transmute for another Titan. What that does is, because of the Eidolon, if my opponent has any burn spell, I die in response. So that does not seem like a good idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attack, and I'm going to go get Radiant Fountain plus Calming Garden. Okay? So, I cannot make enough mana to deal actually 19 to my opponent. So I'm going to just attack. and I'm going to get Colony Garden and Radiant Fountain. That is, of course, a blocker, and that is 2 life. Okay. So there we go. Not having Ballot for this matchup is kind of it's kind of annoying, actually. So I gain 2. If this Radiant Fountain resolves, yeah, that's what I suppose. My opponent has Skullcrack. So they take 2. And I am going to pact this. Of course I'm going to take 2. Because of the Eidolon trigger. But I'm going to counter the Skullcrack so I don't die, and I gain another 2 from the Radiant Fountain trigger. I get a chump blocker there, and now we come in and we swing for 6. Now, second main. Transmitting for Azusa seems like a death sentence with Eidolon in play. So what I can do is I can play a Vesuva, copying Radiant Fountain. Or what I can do is I can transmute for another Titan, which will get me down to 2. Then Primetime can go get another blue source plus Semi-Growth. And then I can play bounce Radiant Fountain and play it for as my land for turn. That should put me at 4 life, and I just basically die to Boros Charm and nothing else. Unfortunately, if my opponent top decks Boros Charms, he actually wins, which is pretty unfortunate. But you know, I don't think there's any way I can play around that. Because even Reclamation Sage kills me with the Eidolon trigger. Actually, I'm going to pay 1, 2, 3, 4. By paying like this, I can actually transmute on the same turn if I wanted to. It's unfortunate that I only have 1 land drop here. Yeah, it just doesn't really matter. I'm just going to get Semi-Growth plus Boros Garrison, I guess. Any 2 bounce lands will do. And here I'm going to bounce this and this, and I'm going to play Radiant Fountain. Okay. So I am dead to Boros Charm, and I think nothing else. Because even if my opponent draws Searing Blaze, they can kill my plant token and come in for 2, but that only gives me 1 damage, so I would go down to 1, and then on the crackback I just kill them. So yeah, I was done. I was dead only to Boros Charm and nothing else. So that's pretty okay. Okay, sideboarding against Burn. This actually seems kind of like a rough setup against Burn. It's kind of annoying. I do not want Bojuku Bog. I do want Fire Spout. Rex Sage just a 1-off is fine, but I don't want more than 1. Explosives is pretty bad. Explore is actually super bad. I guess I'm going to play a couple of Abrades instead of Explore. Spell Pierce is sketchy. With my usual sideboard plan, I bring in the Ballots, and I don't even worry about bringing in Spell Pierce. I just like Pact of Negation better in this matchup as a one-off, because one of the ways that they cheese out a win is because you attack and they just deflect and palm you. So usually post-board I never attack with a Primetime into 2 open mana, and before I get to Pact for... before I get to transmit for a Pact of Negation, so I can cover deflecting palm. Actually, this sideboard plan looks pretty awful against Burn. Maybe because I don't have bailouts, I want some kind of 1-mana interaction, so I want Spell Pierces. It just seems bad. Just seems not great. Maybe in the draw I want Pierces, and on the play I want Braids. Because Braids sound like a little bit too slow for this matchup. Well, I'll probably want Braids over Ballistas anyway. Ballista is not really good. It's basically like a way to kill Eidolon without having to take two. Okay. So this hand is not good. My opponent also mulliganed. I think I can do better than this. And I did better than that. This I'm going to keep. Note that I don't have red mana here. This is a really tough card to have on top. Because I kind of need it. Yeah, I kind of really need it. If I don't have it prime time, I'm dead. But I also really need a bounce land here. This hand desperately needs a bounce land. My opponent, I mean, it doesn't matter. What my opponent did with that doesn't really matter. So my opponent knows I have a Summoner's Pact, but I'm still going to play Tribe Scout on my first turn. This kind of plays into Searing Blaze, which really sucks, but I don't know. If my opponent plays an Eidolon here, I'm in a lot of trouble. Searing Blaze? Yep, Searing Blaze. Shit. Okay, that's an amazing draw right there. That's an incredible draw right there. I really needed something like that. Let's see, Explore, Azusa. Okay, this is not good. If I draw a bounce land, I might be in an okay spot. But I need a bounce land like this coming turn. I need bounce land right here. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I can actually just Fire Spout my opponent's board and then play an Amulet. So that's cool. I kind of didn't want to kill the Goblin Guide because I really need lands, but yeah. So Bounce Land wins the game. No Bounce Land is rough. And there's a Bounce Land. So yeah. So that basically wins the game. My opponent also does not have. Deflecting Palm Mana, which is also sweet. I'm going to go to 9 from this Eidolon, which is unfortunate, but I don't think there's anything I can do. Oh yes, I can actually... Yes, I think I'm going to go get Vesuva plus Bounce Lands. Yeah, these draws have been pretty incredible actually. So we play Prime Time. Does my opponent have Path? I don't think my opponent has Path. If my opponent has Path, I think actually that's great for me. So if my opponent Path is my Prime Time, I go get Forest, so I can pay for my Pact, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana in place. No, yeah. Yeah, so if I hold a Bounce Land in hand, I should be good. Because I can play Azusa next turn. And if my opponent has a Path, then I know for a fact that I'm not dead next turn. Which is also pretty cool. Knowing you're not dead is pretty cool. You heard it here. Okay, so this is looking good. Burn is overall a pretty good matchup anyway. Is my opponent doing the... Yep, my opponent is doing the tilt disconnect. Oh, Magic Online. You're just so fun. I guess my opponent kind of tilted off because I was taking so much time when I was like trying to set up the deck list command. So yeah, sorry about that, opponent. I don't know. Maybe I should have let him know. game playing solos. Oh, my opponent is tilting off. That's why. Yes, there you go. So my opponent was like 10-minute game playing solo. So bored. High NP. I'm streaming. That's why I'm taking longer than usual. Just going through my lines. Anyway, it's always fun to play against tilted opponents. So hopefully they will come back at some point. In the meantime, what I'm gonna do here on the attack trigger, at this point, if my opponent is doing this, then I assume they don't have the path. So I'm going to go get another bounce land and Vesuva, of course, copying Radiant Fountain. I could also go get Colony Garden plus Vesuva copying Radiant Fountain, which I think might be better because it plays around. It plays around like two burn spells pointed at my prime time. If I do that though, next turn I pay for my pact and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. So I'm going to, on the attack trigger, go with Colony Garden plus Vesuva to copy my Radiant Fountain, and even if my opponent kills my prime time with like Serum Blaze, Brass Bolt, or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I understand, honestly. With Burn, whenever you die, you kind of like fast. And, so there's not really that... It's not as painful, When you're playing against Amulet, there's so many lines, and they are just so complicated. There's so many options that you can take, and so many things that you can play around. But if you play around one thing, you're not playing around the other one. So you need to kind of try to see what your opponent can or cannot have. So you need to, of course, spend a little bit longer, and it definitely includes way more clicking than Burn. Clicking usually with Burn is just click on your card, click on your mana to tap it, click at your opponent's face. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice if it kind of sucks, especially when you're streaming. This is not an enjoyable experience for anybody. And I apologize for that, but there's not much that I can do, which kind of sucks, but it's the way it is. In the meantime, we can, have some conversations. How's everybody doing in chat? Did you guys enjoy Holy Shamgar streams earlier? I'm a big fan of Ad Nauseam Tendrils, and I suck at playing it, but the deck always seemed extremely interesting to me and a ton of fun. But yeah, it's just I built it on Moto because it wasn't really that expensive, and I think I played one league and I went like 1-4. And I was like, geez, I really need to get better at this. But legacy leagues are not really the place to practice, though, unfortunately, because they're kind of like a little bit expensive. That's kind of like the beauty about Modern. The fact that you have the friendly leagues makes trying out decks so much better. Because it's kind of like you're playing for something, but if the deck actually doesn't work out, or if you just need to get your reps in, you just need to figure out how the deck works, what the usual lines are, and you don't lose as much, so it's kind of sweet that you get to do that with Modern, Modern having the friendly league option. But yeah. The problem with the competitive leagues, though, is this kind of thing. This is at least my opponent is kind of like tilted off, but he's like not interacting in chat. Okay, so that's a good question right there. Why do you think Ballista is important main deck? That's an amazing question. The reasons are Ballista is an okay draw. It can be mediocre sometimes when you just naturally draw it, or sometimes it can be amazing when you naturally draw it. Sometimes you just draw a Sousa and you just play a Ballista on like, I don't know, like 4, and then you have a 4/4 that starts shooting down things. You also have like, I've won games where I am just, it happens a lot that you end up with a bunch of mana in play, with like Amulet and bounce lands, and you have like a Sousa and a Tribe Scout or whatever, and you end up with a lot of mana, and then you're just waiting for a payoff, and just having Ballista as a one-off makes it so even if you naturally draw it off the top, it's still a very, very good card and can still win games by itself. Sometimes I just win games where I just play a Ballista on 4 against like a, I don't know, like a blue mono opponent or something like that, and they just cannot deal with it. They just cannot deal with it, and it just starts growing further and further every single turn, and then they just concede to it. Also, it's, even in the matchups where it's not great, it still has fringe uses. Against something like humans, it's of course amazing, right? Because my opponent's back. I will keep talking anyway. Against decks like humans, it's of course amazing, because you can play on for 4 mana and you can kill a meddling mage. If you manage to have even more mana, you can kill multiple things. If you have just the 2 mana, you can sometimes kill like an annoying Thalia, or you can kill a noble hierarch, or the champion of the parish before it gets out of hand. And then, so my opponent is apparently in full tilt mode, and they are just like timing themselves out. They just click there so they would not die to time it out. Okay, so my opponent fetches. Okay, maybe they actually have something here. But anyway, it still has like the upside of sometimes you draw it like against John or some deck like that, and it's like a 2-mana answer to Bob, or your opponent Liliana minuses you, and then Ballista on 1 basically goes ahead and just makes it so you don't. So here I'm gonna get Vesuva and Kalnigardi, sorry. Vesuva and Kalnigardi. Vesuva, copy Radiant Fountain, and here we go. So now I'll finish my thoughts. And you can trade with Liliana that way, and you can also sometimes just randomly draw it against. It's very common, like against control, for example. You do some cheap shot damage against them with like you just hit them one time with a Primeval Titan, you hit them a couple of times with the stupid Tribe Scout or a Sousa or something, and you deal them like a couple of damage here and there, and then you end up in that position that I was talking about, where you have a ton of damage, and then you play a Cavern on Ballista, and you play a Ballista for like 9 or 10, and you just shoot them to death without them being able to. They are able to just. They're not really able to interact with it in any meaningful way. Against Tron, I do not keep it in. Against Tron in particular, I don't think it's really good. I have won games, like one time. It was game 1, and my opponent attacked me with Ulamog twice, but at that point I already had a bunch of mana in play. So basically, in my upkeep before my draw step, because I had no more cards in my library, I activated Ballista like 4 times, and I made it grow, and then I shot my opponent on my upkeep before drawing a card. and that was pretty awesome. And I just killed them on my upkeep, like before I would lose to decking in my draw step. So that was pretty amazing. But that is not usually the case. Usually against strong ballista is just too slow in my experience. Yeah, I mean, when that happens, you just feel like $1,000,000, and I mean, it might seem that ballista is actually worth a spot, but I don't think that is the case in most cases anyway. You want to like just make your deck as lean as possible, and you want to use bring in Spell Pierce and some kind of like easy interaction, early interaction, so they don't con you on turn 3, and then play a prime time as soon as you can and try to go get Ghost Quarter. By the way, this is a mulligan. No non-bounce land, of course, is not the best place to be. This is pretty fine. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the Amulet on top. So now we are just really hoping that this Ancient Steerings finds a bounce land for us. Hexproof. Okay. So this is overall a pretty good matchup. Their interaction is just basically irrelevant. They have like 1 or 2 paths, which of course we can easily grind through. And being able to transmute for explosives in the main deck is just huge against this deck. Explosives on 1 is oftentimes just game over. Yeah, no problem, DT Lurch. If anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer them, to the best of my abilities, of course. If this is what my opponent's doing, if this is all my opponent has, this game is way more over than he thinks it is. Yeah, so I'll play Amulet, and I'm going to steer this turn, because I really, really need to find the bounce. I'm going to copy their Forest, even though it has a pretty ugly art. Ugh. Bounce land, please, bounce land, please. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so that should be game. That should be game. I'm going to do this main phase here, because I get to explore if I do it this way. And now I get to bounce the Forest. Yeah, this is very much over. I'm gonna copy the Gruul Turf, so I have some bounce land for next turn, and this game is over. Yeah, the Bogles matchup is overall pretty good. It's the stuff that they can do. It's like, if they don't race you and they have like a gigantic Bogle by like turn 2 or 3, yeah, they just can't keep up with us. So that's very much not an early concession. I guess it is. I mean, I would expect them to, for me to show them that I actually have the prime time, but yeah, they were dead. Against Bogles, Ballista is bad. Explosives, good. Wreck Stage, good. Fire Spout, I don't really like it on the draw, because usually their Bogles get pretty big pretty fast, so I'm not a big fan of them on the draw. Sometimes on the play they are a little bit better, but on the draw they are definitely not great. And Bog is awful. Spell Pierce is a consideration. I honestly don't think I want Spell Pierce over any of this though. All of these cards seem better than Explosive than Spell Pierce. Probably over the Pact Negation. So maybe I can do this, which is a little bit awkward, just having like the fun-off Spell Pierce. I mean, I guess I can slide out a couple of Explorers, because they are not going to be able to effectively interact with my ramp. So Explorer is not as needed. And then I will submit this. I'm going to go fill up my water bottle while we wait. And this hand is a keep, I think. F6, and I'll be right back. Alright. That's a whatever draw. This is not great. I'd probably rather have a bounce land than this, but you know, it's fine. I need lands, like any land will do. Well, this is rough right here. I think I'm going to take the explosives because this hand is pretty damn slow. So I want to make sure that I don't die. So I'm gonna do this and take the explosives. It kind of sucks that now my opponent knows about it, so they can play around it more effectively. But it's still, there's so much playing around it that they can do, you know? Because they need to kill me. We're hoping for no Umbra here. And there's the Umbra. Bacterial Armor, oh, double Umbra. So this turn, I'm probably... Explore would be a pretty good draw here. Tuleria West. So Tuleria West, it's an ETB tap land, which kind of gives me the incentive to want to play it right now. But on the other hand, I can actually transmute. Because I kind of need to draw a bounce land anyway, I think I'm going to play Tuleria West. And Tuleria West actually, playing it now gives me the out to just being able to draw any land instead of actually a bounce land. So I'm going to do this. Because even if we transmute... Nah, actually, if I turn Tuleria West into a bounce land, actually I get 6 mana for prime time. So maybe it was better to actually... It's weird. Core Spirit, that's... Okay, that can be problematic. That can be really problematic. That kind of makes me want to E on 2. Jeez, I need some lands here. Because my opponent has double Umbra. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Explosives on 1. Kinda hope my opponent doesn't go off. If my opponent has Nature's Claim in hand and they do it end of turn, then that's kind of annoying. But, so maybe they don't, so that's cool. Okay. Daybreak Coronet. Okay, that's fine, because that's gonna fall off when I blow up the explosives. So that's okay, I don't care about that. Actually, that's great for me. That's one less Coronet for them. So the attack, and I blow this up. I'm not willing to take 6. Coronet is gonna fall off, and the Scout is not gonna die. But it's just gonna be a 1/1. I'm a little bit afraid of the Spirit Dancer kind of growing out of hand though. Because this is usually how they beat us. We don't have very good interaction against Spirit Dancer. And it just grows out. It just grows out of hand really, really quickly. Yet again, this is another reason why I play 2 explosives. Jeez, this is punishing. This is punishing. I really needed to draw a land there. That's punishing because if I had been able to transmute this into a bounce land, we would probably have... We wouldn't have prime time next turn, but we would have guaranteed prime time on the following turn. Whereas here we're just, you know, kind of hoping, which is not where you want to be. Oh, this is so good for us. Opponent, why would you do this? That's just amazing for us. That's like the best possible thing that could have ever happened. Wow, my opponent has no auras whatsoever. Yeah, this is over. This is over. And this is oversight already. Just just so you guys know. That is definitely over cyberling. I'm going to assume my opponent has another path, but we have another Titan, so I don't really need to play around anything here. I'm going to go get 2 bounce lands, because we already have a Tolaria West and blue mana to transmute. And this is because I might want to get... I possibly might want to get another explosives next turn. We'll see how things turn out, but I might need to actually transmit for a second explosive if my opponent happens to draw like one of his auras and he starts going off on the Spirit Dancer. I may need to just blow it up. Calding Garden is not a bad draw there. It gives us a chump blocker, so my opponent kind of really needs they really need a trample land, a trample aura. Yeah, you see, I have no idea what I would like to see what my opponent took out for this. But if my opponent took out any aura for this, then that's just not good sideboarding. If my opponent took out something like what's his name, Leyline. You know, these lists usually run main deck Leyline. Then that's fine. But if my opponent took an actual card for that, then that's definitely not good for them. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to play Primetime and haste him up, and that should be game. Unless my opponent has Maelstrom Pulse or something, which they of course do not. Jeez, I have to remember that I don't have Celestial Sanctuary anymore. Okay, so we have more Tolaria Wests to transmute, but I mean, at this point it's just irrelevant. It's just not gonna matter. We're just so far ahead. Yes, I guess I'm gonna gain 2 life, just because. Sure, let's do that. I already have a bounce land in hand, so I don't want to have a bounce land in hand. I'd rather have the Tolaria West to transmute. I guess my opponent has to really, really go off this turn. As in play Rancor into Ethereal Armor, into Ethereal Armor, into Ethereal Armor. If that was his play, then we would probably have been dead there. I didn't do the math. That I'm pretty sure that Spirit Dancer would be massive. But that's like exactly what they needed to have, so I don't think that's very possible. Okay, 2-0. 2-0. I can update my stream record. My opponent goes first. So this hand is 1 bounce land away from being great, so I'll keep. Main deck Rec Sage might be randomly relevant. We'll see. We will see. Ethervile. So I guess it will be randomly relevant. Considering I drew a Tribe Scout, I think I'm going to play this Scout. If I happen to draw a bounce land, I am 100% playing this Rec Sage next turn. Geez, my record on stream with Amulet is 27-5. It's pretty absurd. That's funny. So, wow, no place, no place. I'm feeling pretty damn good about this now, gentlemen. So I am actually able to do everything I want here. I am, of course, not going to play around any kind of like removal from my opponent since they aren't humans. Maybe I should? Nah, I'm not going to. That makes no sense. So I'm going to play Azusa here. Play 1 land. Play 2 lands. And this is going to be a blowout. Told you, main deck Rex Sage being randomly relevant. Get that vial out of here. Get that vial out of here. I guess if they play Meddling Mage, that's really annoying. But that's like the only thing. Okay, turn off auto yields. No, even Meddling Mage doesn't do it, because I can just like go get explosives. So it just doesn't matter. We got it all. We've got it all. Oh, Reflector Mage, that's cute. No, Militia Butler. Huh. Look at the top of our cards. You reveal creature power 2 or less. Put them and put into your hand. The rest at the bottom of your library. Okay. What do they reveal? Meddling Mage. Yep, that's gonna be too late, brother. If they had this, if they still had the vial, that would actually be troublesome. But because they don't, it's completely irrelevant. Punished. So punished for cantrip in there. Alright. 1. I don't think it matters anyway. 2. And 3. Can we force the chump here? I don't think we have. So this is happening for sure. So we only have 1 land drop left. Yes. We get in Bogles Garrison. And I get Gruel Turf. Haste Prime Time. So can I force the Chumple? Can I bring this guy up to 10? I can bounce this. I can replay it with Tribe Scout. Then on attack trigger, I can go get Vesuva. Vesuva will give me red, white. No, I cannot. I'm 1 mana short. I'm exactly 1 mana short of being able to do this. So yeah, so that Explorer really punished me for making the play I did. I guess I can deal 16 and then like chomp attack with this. I think I'm actually more interested in playing around if my opponent has what's his name? Reflector Mage plus Meddling Mage on the following turn. I might be in trouble. So I think I want to just bounce this here and bounce this. And I'm going to attack. And now I get Sunhome. I already can transmute to Larry West for a Ballista. So I'm not going to. And okay, so here I think I would probably get Celestial Sanctuary, but it's not in my deck anymore. So I think I'm going to get like a second to Larry West and just flash this Bogles Garrison in. And I do have enough green mana to pay for my pact. And I still have a bounce land in hand. Yeah, this feels good. So going to blocks. They do nothing. So I'll do this. Flash this in. 16, yeah. And next turn, even if my opponent bounces this, I can still I can pay for Pact, and I can transmute for a Ballista, hopefully make it up to 2, make it up to 4 mana, and I can just shoot them to death. Okay, so that was easy. So against humans, I don't like Pact, I don't like Bujuki Bog. I really like Explosives, I like Fire Spout, and I like Abrades. Explorers are not great against the Thalia deck. Rex Sage might not be worth a slot. Oh yeah, it is definitely worth a slot because of Damping Sphere. And because my opponent is against a Thalia deck, sometimes Summoner's Pact can be awkward, so I like siding one of these in and bringing in an extra threat. Hornet Queen is... It's a weird card in the matchup. It's good because it sometimes stabilizes like no other, because it blocks Mantis Rider like a champ. But sometimes, you know, the opponent plays Phantasmal Image copying the Hornet Queen, and it can be a little bit annoying. So it's kind of like a priority to let the Hornet Queen die before... to let the Hornet Queen die as soon as possible. Just to prevent that play from happening. But still, I think it's worth it because it stabilizes and it's a different kind of threat. Instead of, you know, just having Primeval Titan that, you know, we have a lot of answers to Melee Mage anyway, but it's still annoying. It still slows us down. It might force us to like transmute for an answer to the mage when we would like to be either ramping or, you know, actually transmitting for Pact or stuff like that. So Melee Mage is still good against us. Yeah, Thalia is... it's kind of a beating. Thalia, it's a pretty good card against us, period. It's just a good Magic card. I imagine that in this matchup in particular must be the reason why we are running the 4 Grul Turf 1 Grove rather than the Celestial Sanctuary, because you really want to be able to cast the Fire Spout and the Abrades, and it's particularly important to be able to cast Abrade under a Damping Sphere. This hand, I guess it's a keep. It's slow keep, but it's a keep. This hand, even though it kind of looks like it's a fast Titan, that's not quite the case. That's not quite the case. My opponent starting on Champion of the Parish is not bad for me though. It can be a clock, but it's so I can like go get Azusa next turn. But if I do that, I'm dead to Damping Sphere. I'm like actual dead to Damping Sphere, as in I just can't use this to pay for my Pact, so I'm literal dead to Damping Sphere. Yeah, that card is fine. I don't care about having the second Summoner's Pact. It's of course not bad. So actual Azusa would be the best draw here. Actually, Azusa would be the best draw. I guess Strive Scout would not be terrible. It would be not great either, but it would not be terrible. Second Amulet would be pretty sweet. Second Amulet would actually be the kill. I mean, not the kill, it will force a chump, but you get the idea. Steerings into second Amulet. There it is. Just like we drew it up. And cover naming Giant. And play second Amulet, go. Okay, so they have to have Melee Mage this turn, otherwise they're dead. And that being the case, our best possible draw here, I guess it's... And they do have the Melee Mage. Oh, they have a second champion too. The best draw here would be Fire Spout. Yeah, they do have the Melee Mage, that's unfortunate. No, they don't. Okay, so they're dead. Sweet. So that's how you win against humans, guys. Just hope they don't draw Melee Mage, and you draw the nuts, and you just kill them. They didn't have the damping sphere. They just had nothing. They just had a turn 4 kill on the play, I guess, which is pretty good. It's not bad. But turn 3 kill on the draw is better. Turn 3 on the draw confirmed better than turn 4 on the play. So with that, we play a Primeval Titan. We go get Simic Growth Chamber plus Tolaria West, I guess. It's largely irrelevant. It's, you know, we are just, they are dead. They are taking 32 to the face. So their chump blockers don't do anything either. They know about the second pact. Jeez, must be nice. Must be nice to draw like this. This is why you play Amulet, guys. This is why you play Amulet. Deck is awesome. Bogles Garrison plus Slayer Stronghold. Okay, let's see the bug. Yep, we were hit by the bug. So I guess we have to play around the bug and we have to bounce a land that we didn't want to bounce. So we're gonna bounce this. The reason I'm doing this is, I mean, it's not gonna matter because they are like actual dead here. But the reason I did that, let's say that my opponent would not die this turn. Bouncing the forest puts me actually quite dead to Damping Sphere. By doing it like this, I just get to play around, you know, Slaughter Pact. Slaughter Pact plus Zombie Spirit Guide to pay for it in upkeep. And, you know, and Damping Sphere on their turn. So first trigger is gonna get this and like Gemstone, I guess. It just doesn't matter. Colony plus Gemstone. So float from Colony, and tap. Float a white, and tap. And then we just find Bounce Land plus Stronghold here. And that's lethal. Plus some home, sorry, my bad. And I'm stupid because I didn't get a red source. Well, that's how you mess it up, guys. It doesn't matter anyway, but that's what I was playing around, you see? I was so smart, I played around me fucking up. That's hilarious. That's funny. So now they are exactly lethal instead of being super, super lethal. They're still dead. They're taking 24. So yes, I could kill him, but I was dumb and I was just I should have gone in. I wanted to get Growth Turf there, but I don't know why I went and I clicked on the Semi-Growth Chamber. That's one of the things that happens when you're streaming and you're saying you're gonna do something, but then you end up doing something else, because that's how streaming works sometimes, unfortunately. My opponent is taking 20 anyway, so they're dead. But yes, they should have taken 32. They should have taken 32. So they could be extra dead. Versus humans. Alright. So now we're actually 28-5 on stream. Which is a pretty reasonable record, if you ask me. Yeah, I've been doing pretty well on Magic Online lately. I don't know what's going on. The other day I was playing, I just wanted to just have some fun and play some 4-color Loma and ended up going 5-0. No idea why. And I wasn't really even sure that the list was good. I just took it and I really wanted to play Containment Priest. So I was running 2 Containment Priests in the board and I literally brought it in 0 matchups. So I played against no Reanimator, no Show and Tell. Just all against mid-range decks. It was great. Pro Tour Freddy. Yep. Snapkeep. We are of course looking for a prime time, but you can't always have it your way. Is this against Burn and I have turn 1 Radiant Fountain, turn 2 Azusa? Because that would be awesome. Yep, we're playing against Burn. What do we draw? Primeval Titan. Let's show me a Primeval Titan and... Okay, so it just shows me a Gemstone Mine. Never lucky. This is hilarious. We don't even need to discard 2 hand size. Because we have a turn 1 play. Oh boy. My opponent knows that was this gemstone. This is... Just put it down here. Dude, this deck is just so good. What's wrong with people? Why aren't people playing more Amulet? The deck is clearly busted. Okay, play something for me, opponent. I guess Eidolon would be mildly annoying. But like, yeah, okay, that's... I think still I get to gain enough life. Lol. Okay, so that's an answer to the Eidolon. Yep, I'm gonna play Radiant Fountain as many times as humanly possible. Play Azusa, I'm gonna take 2 from the Eidolon here, which kinda sucks, but it is what it is. Play Fountain, and I have 1 more land drop. What do I want to make that land drop? Next turn I can actually pay 4 for explosives in order to not take damage. I think what I want to do is I'm going to play Colony. This will effectively gain me 2 life, because if my opponent is playing yeah, and I can still kill Eidolon next turn without taking any damage, so that's sweet. If my opponent is gonna kill something with Serial Base, that something's most likely gonna be Azusa, so there's that. Yeah, I guess I run out of luck. Yep, there's the Searing Blaze. So that makes me feel extra smart for getting play the Colony Guard the last turn. Another Goblin Guide. Alright, so draw me some cards, Goblin Guide, or show me a Prime Time. Show me a Prime Time, that's even better. Yeah, I like that. Show me a Primeval Titan here. Trigger 1, let's go. Forest, okay. Second chance. Let's go. Ugh. Yep, I'm gonna jump here. Okay, so now the story is a little bit different. Do I want to explosives on... Do I want to explosives on 2 to kill the Eidolon? Or do I want to kill both Goblin Guides? I can still pay 4 mana and use all green mana. That way I can, you know, kill the Goblin Guides. But what that does is it kills my Amulet, and I'm not sure I want to be doing that. I am for sure playing Gruul Turf this turn. I'm trying to see what saves me the most damage. I kind of want to start casting my spells though. So the fact that I want to start casting my spells makes me think that I want to kill the Eidolon. So I don't take any damage from the explosives because I can play it on 4, only using 2 colors. But I take 2 4, go down to 7, and I'm dead to Boros Charm plus something else. They always have the Boros Charm, so I'm going to assume they have the Boros Charm. Alternatively, I can again pay 4 and explosives on 1, which I have to blow up right now to kill both Goblin Guides. What that does is it takes me, I only take 2 from the Eidolon attack, but then I can't play anything. This is rough. I think I just cannot realistically play around Boros Charm plus 1 mana spell. So I'm just going to bite the bullet and do this. So this is a nice little trick. I'm actually playing 4, so X equals 4, but I'm actually using 2 color mana. So what that does is it plays the explosives on 2, okay, because Sunburst is still 2, but what it does is it doesn't trigger the Eidolon because the converted mana cost is 4 instead of 3 or lower. So that's a nice little trick that you can do with explosives. Alright, so what up, opponent? What you got for me? I guess this play gets wrecked by second Eidolon, and it also gets wrecked by like triple 1 mana spell. Teleria West, okay, so that's a prime time, and Forest. Okay, so we still have a shot. We still have a shot. Definitely killing the Eidolon here. I don't want to take 2 damage for no reason. 100% killing the Eidolon here. Now they can play another Eidolon under my second main phase, which would really suck, but it is what it is. I can't afford to take these 2 because that 2 actually makes me dead to any two spells from my opponent's deck, and I don't want to be dead to any 2 spells from my opponent's deck. Oh, is my opponent considering making Boros Charm Eidolon indestructible? That would actually be kind of sweet, I'm not gonna lie. Yep, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. That's sweet. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like that play from my opponent. It's the highest upside play. So I still take 6. So now I need to draw Primeval Titan off the top. Primeval Titan off the top. Primeval. If I say it 3 times, maybe it happens. Primeval Titan off the top. Nope. Never lucky. So now I'm just dead on board, right? So I can gain 2, but I'm gonna be taking 6, 7. Yeah, I'm just dead on board. There's no way I can prevent this from happening. So yep. So we had one of the usual have a bunch of mana, never draw primetime draws, which is unfortunate. We started with a very promising hand, and then it just didn't work out. So the way we sideboarded against Burn was we brought that in, we brought both Fire Spouts in, we explosives, we took it out, and we brought in the Braids, I think. Was it the Braids or was it... I think it was the Braids. So we can take out a couple of Explorers and the Ballista. I think this is what we did. I find that usually what kills me are not really the spells. That's why I'm not bringing in Spell Pierce. And when you get to the late game, which means of course turn 3-4, then it just, you know, it's just not good. It's Spell Pierce is just not worth a card because they can just pay for it. By the way, this is a keep. I didn't say it. So I'm gonna play Scout on turn 1. It would be awesome if it survived, but if my with this type of hand, I actually get happy if if my opponent goes turn 1 Goblin Guide or something. But yeah, so actually, if they bolt my Scout on turn 1, it's good because I don't take 3, but it slows me down considerably. Oh, and the reason why I cited out the Explorers, by the way, I did explain it, was because they are not great in the face of Eidolon. So I don't really want to see Explorers against Burn. Eidolon is probably like their best card against us. And by the way, my opponent topped their card. They have Bolt. No, Monster Swift. Okay, that's good for me. So now I can kind of ramp freely to one extent. Play Tulare West and pass the turn. This hand is a turn 4 Titan, which is not amazing. My opponent has Tyrion Blaze here. That's actually, it kind of sucks for me. I'm not going to chump this turn. I'm going to chump next turn. So this turn I'm going to take the 2 and take the attack. It's kind of unfortunate we didn't draw any of the value lands, so that kind of sucks. Still, so here I can see an argument for playing the Gruul Turf, but by playing something else, in this case I'm going to play the Forest and holding the Gruul Turf in my hand, what I'm doing is I'm actually, if I happen to draw, and I get punished, obviously. But anyway, I don't think I would kill this anyway. So the reason what I did that was because if I happen to draw a Radiant Fountain or a Colony Garden, I would probably want to play that and bounce it on end of turn in order to kind of give myself some extra value. My opponent plays the land. This turn I am chumping, by the way. This turn I am chump blocking. Actually, I'm not chump blocking. Okay, so the reasoning for this is this only prevents 1 damage this turn, or it forces my opponent to tap out. And if my opponent taps out, next turn I slam a Prime Time and I gain 2 life. So I think my opponent is going to, yes, my opponent is going to want to hold up Skullcrack or Eidolon Core, sure, no problem. And yeah, so I was then, in this case, I'm not punished. I'm actually rewarded for my play because that's a good draw. I'm actually rewarded for my play because now I get to slam a Prime Time, and I get to, and this Scout ends up taking 2 damage instead of 1. So that's the reason why I didn't chump there. Then if my opponent taps out for Skullcrack, you know, when they attack, and I actually take 2 from the Sweep Sphere, then that's still good for me because what that means is that my opponent is tapped out and I'm guaranteed to, with the Titan trigger, go and gain 2 life. So here it's, I think it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to get a Simic Growth Chamber. I could also take Boros Garrison. So I'm going to take Boros Garrison, Vesuva actually. I have another Prime Time in hand, so I'm not really worried about that. And I'm going to gain 2 life here. And I'm not going to use the mana, so I'm going to hold up this. So now I'm at 17 life. I cannot lose from here. Now I'm at 17 life. At my end of turn, I'm going to flush in the Vesuva again. Yeah, my opponent path is that's not really worrisome. Since I have another Titan waiting in the wings. And I don't have a pack to pay for, so that's also sweet. We get our last forest. And considering we're so far ahead, I think here I'm actually not going to chump again. Or I can actually chump and just like Fire Spout, which I think it's going to be better. Yep, I'm just going to do that. That makes more sense. So I'm going to chump. 1, 2, 3 to Fire Spout. Kill both their things, then I'll pact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get a Prime Time. I even have, and I will have another extra land drop to replay the Radiant Fountain yet again. And this should kind of take me out of reach. That should be it. That should be the game. So this is, I always forget how this is. So red mana is for creatures without flying. So I want to do red mana. I guess I could do both just in case, but whatever. So kill both your dudes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can even play the Tribe Scout. Jeez. Value. Let's do this. Is my opponent conceding? Yeah, my opponent just concedes. Alright, so that was pretty good. So now we're on the draw. Do we want to change anything? Play versus draw. I think we might not need to. Do I want Rex Sage instead of a Brave on the draw? No, I don't think so. I think I'd rather be able to kill Goblin Guides. Rex Sage is sweet because it kills Iron and then it trades with the Goblin Guides, so that's why I like it in the matchup. But I don't think I ever want to run 2. I want to run 2, I mean. Nature's Claim is a different story because sometimes you can claim your own Amulet to effectively gain 6 life for 1 mana, which is of course pretty good against burn. Is Spell Pierce worth it? Maybe it's worth it over the Explorers. Nah, I don't think so. I definitely want to go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. Alright, on the draw against burn. Jeez, so I want Spell Pierce or Brave. This is rough. Maybe 2 Spell Pierce over the Explorer. Let's try this. Let's see how this works out. I'm not a big fan of Explorer in this matchup. Alright, for the Thor. Oh, what do we got here? Keep. We have a keep here. That's what we have. By the way, my opponent did not show me red mana on any of our 2 games, so I think I'm going to just play this Amulet on my turn 1. And my opponent molds to 4 cards. Jeez. And I have the Radiant Fountain in my opening hand. Yep. Sorry, opponent. Sorry, opponent. Play Amulet, go. I love how our mana base is basically like a 2/3 of a counter spell against my opponent. Just because we play lands. It's kinda sweet. Lava Spike. Okay. Second Azusa is not great, obviously. But I guess we'll take it anyway. Play second Azusa. And I'm gonna play Gemstone plus Fountain. I didn't want to play the bounce land there because, okay, yeah, my opponent just concedes. I guess zero mana, yeah, counter, 1 spell and a third, it's just too much for them. 4-0! I forgot to upload. Okay. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. For all the glory. For all the glory. Burn. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the content, oh, you gotta be kidding me! What? We're playing for the 4-0. Dude. We're playing against Pond and Wine for the 5-0. That's crazy. Wow, actually Punt is also playing for the 4-0 as well. He's not streaming though. He's also playing for the 5-0. The 5-0. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, so this is a dead card in the mirror, basically. I guess it's good against against Punt lists. This hand feels awfully slow though. We have Pact and we have Tuleria West. I guess I'm gonna keep. I'm not happy about this keep. Amulet too good, he says, yeah. This is probably a sketchy keep. Maybe I should just mulligan more aggressively into like an actual, an actual hand, I guess. But if they use. If Pond stares into Lotus Bloom here and he plays the Bloom, then I think we might actually be in a good spot. Yep, they suspended the Bloom. They suspended that Bloom. Okay, so this hand is actually amazing against his draw. That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, that's why. Yeah, always yield. Come on. So we know they had Temple of Mystery. I'm gonna do this main phase. I can't remember about Pun's list. Is there anything he has that can punish me for doing this right now? I think I'm gonna pass. I think I can play the explosives on 1. The explosives on 0 next turn. So they play the temple and they. So they kept the card on top. Okay, this is pretty awesome actually. That was a sweet draw, by the way. So we play Amulet. We play Simic Growth, and we're going to explore real quick. Let's explore right here. What do you mean EE punishes me? EE is amazing here. Oh, I guess you're saying they can EE on 0 and blow up my EE. Yeah, I guess that's actually a good point, and it might be worth it to just play the explosives next turn. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense actually. Okay, so I'm gonna play Tuleria West this turn, so next turn we can play. So we're gonna do this. And next turn we can use this 3 mana to transmute. Gonna swing with the plant token, obviously. Next turn I can use this mana to transmute, use the 2 mana from the explosives. Yeah, so the reason why I was thinking of playing explosives this turn instead of next turn is because next turn he actually can, pay for Pact. But I guess if he's actually paying for Pact, then it's basically like my explosive is still trading for 1 Lotus Bloom and the Pact. So I think this might actually be worth it. Okay, so what I think next turn I want to actually transmute for Blue Pact, because it might be I'm not sure if Punt is running Black Pacts right now. But maybe they are, so I think it might be worth it to play around that. I know, EU on 0 playing the plant token. It's kind of awesome that we get to play we get to play like the finals of the league, and it's the mirror. That's kind of awesome. All right, punt. What do you got? Gonna make sure that I have a stop on his upkeep. Explosives on 1. Nice. So he did have the explosive. Great catch, Andre Cooper. He did have the explosives. I guess we still have the amulet, so that's good. So I'm going to explosives of 0. Wow, explosives. Clearly the mirror breaker. So what do I do here now? I don't think I want to transmute now. I think I just want to pay 1, play my amulet. Yeah, because Punt is not going to be able to pay for a pact next turn anyway. So yeah, I'm going to play my amulet. I'm going to play Sun Home. And I'm going to pass the turn. So, Lotus Bloom number 1 goes on the stack. He cast it. Lotus Bloom number 2 goes on the stack. He casts it. Still an upkeep. Going to blow up explosives. And now I'll pass. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Like explosives, actually, it's not bad against Punt's version of the deck. Against the Lotus Bloom version, it seems way better than against the Scout version. Like we just basically 2-for-1 him, and we stopped his ramping. Like big deal. So plays his own amulet. But we might still be dead here though. If he has Azusa, Bounce Land, and... What does he need? Azusa, Bounce Land, and... Nice, he copies my Bounce Land, nice. Yeah, everybody knows that Twitch chat is competitive advantage. Okay, so it kind of makes... Oh, they're transmuting. Okay, so they're gonna get blue pact here, I guess. Or they're actually gonna get prime time. They get prime time, okay. Serum Visions. These visions right here is actually going to be pretty sweet for him. They bottom 2. Okay, we can just draw the prime time, and that's actually better. So let's do that. So he cannot pact. And I think we actually got this, boys. Water's Garrison and Slayer's Stronghold. An attack. Yes. Gonna get Clear West plus Simic Growth, and I'm going to bounce the Sun Home because I don't remember Punt's list, and he might be running Ghost Quarter. I don't think he does, but he might be. I don't know. So I want to make sure that I can pay for my pact on upkeep. We go get blue pact here, and we pass. We could have also gone and get Ghost Quarter, but I think this is better. I think this is just better. All right. So we're playing the Mirror. What do we want? I want Second Cavern. I do not want Bog. I want Spell Pierces. And I want... Don't want Ballista. I think Rek'Sai just a one-off might be okay. Against Punt's list, I think I do want the Abrades. Yeah. No, Punt says High Might seems like it should come out. No, it should totally stay in. Seems great. Alright. I definitely want to hit my land drops. I want, of course, all my pacts. I want, of course, all my Primeval Titans. You know, I actually... I thought Explosives was going to be the first card to come out. But after that game, I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. I think that Punt's list really relies on Lotus Bloom as ramp. So having answers to Lotus Bloom to play and to to be able to use them before he actually goes into his turn and can actually get mana from the Lotus Bloom seems actually quite relevant here. I don't know. Fountain, I can cut. I think actually Calling Garden might be worse than Radio Fountain. No, I want my green sources. Okay, so Explores, I guess. I definitely want Tribe Scouts. I definitely want Asusas. I definitely want Rex Sages. Maybe just the 2 Abrades. And just 1 Explore. I want to hedge. I have played this matchup a total number of 0 times. So I guess we'll try this. Punt usually runs Swan Songs instead of Spell Pierces. I don't know if that makes me change my mind on anything. So this is pretty good. And this might be good later. So this hand desperately needs an Amulet or a Soil Mulligan. Well, actually, DT Lurch, Punt and Wine, he plays the Lotus Bloom list. He doesn't play creatures. He just kills Asusa. He just plays Asusa and he only plays 3 of them. I think this is a move on the draw in the mirror, and then we... yeah, I'm mulligan this hand too. Okay, this could be way worse. Okay. Is this a raid worth it? I think it's not. I think I'm gonna let it go. I have to try to get my game plan going. I don't think I'll be able... He has 7 cards. He has more card selection than me. And I think I just need to try to like win before he does, basically. I'm going to Steerings here, because I know that he plays at least 1 Nature's Claim. Oh, he's gonna Swan Song this? He is. Okay. That's okay. That's not a bad play at all, actually, from him. Maybe I should have played Amulet? No, because there's no way I can ramp next turn anyway. I expect you to kill me with that bird now. Alright. Bird coming in for 2. So now it's nice that we actually do have a bounce land here. That's cool. This was a bad draw. Do I play my Amulet here? That plays very much into Rex Sage, so I don't think I'm going to. Just going to pass the turn here. It's nice to have the Cavern in hand, though. It basically guarantees prime time. That prime time is going to resolve it if I happen to draw it. I mean, the world where I packed for Sage is when I want to kill an Amulet. But yes, Abrade destroying Lotus Bloom is pretty huge against Punt's list specifically. Okay, in the mirror, I don't think I would bring in Abrades. In like the actual mirror, meaning like with Tribe Scouts and stuff. Maybe I would, but I'm honestly not sure it's worth it. What did he bounce there? He bounced a hub. Okay, so he has a hub in hand. So that's a card. So that's a card right there. So here's hoping. Coming in for 2. We got the plant as a champ blocker. And in the off chance that I happen to draw a Sousa here, or I guess that I'm going to play in the Amulet next turn, because if I draw an Asusa or a Pact, I can actually prime time next turn. That's why I play the Amulet this turn and not the previous turn, basically. So here I'm just dead to prime time, of course. So we'll see what he does. He said that he's punished for playing out his bounce lands. We'll see what that means. Oh, he drew an Amulet this turn. Okay. So yeah, I know he has a hub. He has second gemstone, and what's the last card? Yeah, I guess he has a Besuba, a Tolaria West in hand as the last card. Yeah, he has a Tolaria West. Yeah, so if he had actually not played one of his bounce land, he would have been able to act. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. This is gonna be pretty straightforward. If we draw Asusa, we win. If we don't draw Asusa, we lose. That's a slow Asusa. Yeah, this is just not fast enough. I think we're dead. Because I would be surprised if Punt does not bring Ghost Water post board. Okay, so what can I do? What can I do? Unfortunately, none of his bounce are semi-gross. I explained last turn, Andrew Cooper. If I draw exactly Asusa, this turn I get to play an uncounterable Titan. Okay, so he actually needs to burn his Pact. If he has a blue Pact, he has to burn his blue Pact on my Asusa instead of actually being able to counter my prime time. So that's why I played Cavernous Souls last turn. Because I get to play bounce land 3, and then I play 2 more. I pay bounce land 2 more times, and I actually get a prime time there. So that's why I did that. Here, unfortunately, we cannot transmute and hold up. We cannot transmute and also hold up, and actually hold a bounce land in hand. So we're pretty fucked here. I think he's got us. He's probably going to go get bounce land. No, he actually doesn't need to get a bounce land. He will get a Tolaria plus Ghost Squatter, so that way we can't prime time him. And there's actually no way that we can stop him from doing that. If one of his bounce lands were a semi-growth, we could have actually played it and transmute this turn and go get Asusa. No, we couldn't get Asusa, but we could get Ghost Quarter to stop him. 1, 2... No, Ghost Quarter doesn't stop him. Yeah, so we're dead anyway. So we're dead anyway. So I'm going to play to my outs, which is that he did, for whatever reason, did not side in Ghost Quarter, which I doubt. Because he definitely knows what he's doing. At least I'm not dead, because I'm at 20 and... There's no way he can 20 me here. I guess second Amulet makes it so he can 20 me, but if he has second Amulet, then I'm dead anyway. So no reason to play around it. Yeah, so I expect to be dead here. He can haste prime time and get Ghost Squatter to stop me from hasting my prime time. So I think he got us. He can punt though. maybe he'll whine afterwards. Yeah, and I also thought about transmuting for Ghost Quarter, but again, if we transmute, then we don't have any land plays remaining, so there's not, it's not really productive at all. So what did he bounce? Here it is. So he returned Garrison, which makes sense, because it's free for him to double strike. So yeah, that makes sense. Oh, he's trying to see if he can no, but there's no need in transmuting, right? Because he can just go against Ghost Quarter. So that's whatever. So attack trigger can do the attack trigger can actually. Oh, he doesn't replay? This is interesting. Okay, so I'm F6 here. What is he getting? I assume he's getting Ghost Quarter. And then something else. Yeah, Ghost Quarter to Larry. That makes a lot of sense. So I guess he wants to transmute post-combat, which also makes sense. I guess you can transmute for Black Pact here. That would probably be the best thing. I mean, Blue Pact is just usually better. He can pay for it, right? Yeah, he has a Lotus Bloom coming off. What thing did I say? What, say the thing is like a meme or something? Oh, so he can actually play second Titan here. This is actually a sweet line, what he's going for. He can actually just play a second Titan here, and the second Titan can go get Vesuva, and Vesuva copies Ghost Quarter, and that basically locks me out. That's a very smart play on their side. They have enough mana to pay for Pact. Yeah, I was trying to maximize damage. What? But he could have also... That's interesting. I thought you were going to go get another Pact and green Pact and get another Titan, then go get Blue Pact. Or does he not have enough mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, which are the two extra lands that he would have in play because of the Titan coming to play trigger, plus the 3 of the Lotus Bloom. Yeah. He could have paid for all 3 pacts. I'm, of course, searching with this. I guess he's playing around Spell Pierce. But I think if I had a Spell Pierce... Oh no, because he had extra Susa land drop, so that makes sense. Yep, I think we're dead here. He's going to Blue Pact our thing. Yep, I think we're dead here. Copy something, play prime time, he counters it, on upkeep he pays with no problem, he has 2 energy. Yeah, okay, we're dead. Makes sense. Alright, so here it is. For all the marbles. Is Abrade better than explosives? That's what I'm thinking right now. That's the question that I'm trying to answer. Because it kind of seems like it is. It kind of seems like it is better than explosives. I don't think the 2-for-1 situation that came up on game 1 is going to come up too often. And this also kills Azusa for less mana. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring in Abrades. And that's it. Okay. Yes, I would like to play first. This hand is good and bad at the same time. It's kind of impressive. Okay, I'll keep. So this looks like a match that we will, start pretty well, and then we will die. We will just, get screwed. Okay, so I'm going to start with Steerings here. See what we can find. Okay, so not many options there. And this turn, I can, and knowing that Punt has Swan Songs, I can play around. I mean, there's no way I could Spell Pierce on turn 1. So that's why I didn't even try to, I didn't even try to figure out how to do that. So they have a, yeah, so I guess this bounce on is going, so punished. So punished. Not having red mana kind of sucks too. But okay, we can hold up Spell Pierce, we can slow him down a little bit, and then we're just in, as usual, we're just on try to find freaking try to find a freaking Titan mode, as we usually are. So he taps 1. Is he Amulet? Yeah, we are Spell Piercing this. Get out of here, Punt. Get out of here. No Amulet for you. He's gonna copy Simic Growth, which makes sense, and then he passes the turn. Okay. Prime time. Nope, just redundant Azusa, of course. Gonna play a land and pass the turn here. Am I though? I think Punt is likely to have answers to my Amulet, so I'm going to actually play this here. And guarantee a prime time next turn if I happen to draw it. It's looking ugly, you guys. It's looking really ugly. It's looking really, really ugly. Seal of Primordium. Nature's Claim, something like that. No, Sir Ambitious. Okay. What does he do? I guess I should have. Yeah, I thought of this after actually playing my things, so I guess there was no reason for me to show him the Sun Home. I could have just replayed the Forest, and then he knows about one less card in my hand. So that was like a small mistake. That was a small mistake right there. I don't think it's very relevant, but it's cool to try to whenever you see mistakes, try to identify them. He has the claim. Yep. So if we draw prime time, we're in a good spot. We are not. At least we have the Abrade for his Amulet, so there's that. So get out of here. We're not going to let him untap with that. And then Azusa comes in for 1. He must be so happy that that there was no prime time right there. So he has a Vestige. Prime time, yes! Yes! Yes. He can't pack this. Unless he's playing Disdainful Stroke now, we should be in a good spot. I'm going to... So here... Yeah, I'm going to get Simic Growth. No, I'm actually going to get Cavern plus Tolaria here. The reason for this is that I can play around Ghost Quarter, and what I want to try to do is I'm trying to play around Black Pact, which he can have next turn. He cannot pact me this turn, because I could, you know, the alternative would be getting Boros Garrison plus Ghost Quarter, so he cannot pact me this turn because he's risking that I Ghost Quarter his Black Source and then he dies. But what he can do is he can untap and then pact me, because that way I cannot actually deal with both of his sources. So I'm actually going to set up for another Primetime next turn. So that's the reason why I both. I just overrated. I just explained why I did not do that. Yes, that was one of the possible lines. That's probably like the most obvious line. But if he untaps, I know for a fact. No, he has the Vestige. But if he has another Black Source, he can untap. He can slaughter. He'll play the second Black Source. He can slaughter pack my Prime. You see exactly what happened. So what I did was play around. So next turn I still have another Primetime coming up. So I hope it makes sense why I made the decision that I made. Because yes, I see exactly what you were doing. But now I know he actually used up his Slaughter Pact. He doesn't have second blue mana to pay for Blue Pact, so I know that this Primetime is going to resolve. And I can actually... So 1, 2, 3... And I have exactly enough mana to Primetime. And now I can do the play that you suggested, where I Ghost Quarter him on upkeep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. He doesn't have Spell Pierce up. And now I actually have like a bunch of mana that I can use. He already used his Slaughter Pact. I don't think he's running a second one. So now I can actually make the play that you said, but now it's way more safe. So Simic Growth plus Ghost Quarter. Do I actually want to get Gruul Turf here? I don't think I do. I'll just get Simic Growth. So now I can do this. Play Ghost Quarter. Azusa, of course, comes in for 1. And on draw step, I'm going to Ghost Quarter him. Wait, am I though? So if I Ghost Quarter him on draw step, he can like pay 1, play Amulet. No, Azusa doesn't get there. Yeah, so I'm going to Ghost Quarter him on draw step. Draw step, kill this. He goes get a forest. He actually has 4 mana. So if I Ghost Quarter him now and he has Amulet, Azusa, Bounce Land, and Primetime, and those are like 4 of his 6 cards, he can actually Primetime me and he can be ahead on the Primetime race. I think I'm going to risk it though, because that does not seem super likely. I'm actually going to tag his blue source. Yeah, he already used his pact. I'm going to tag his blue source now to prevent him from like doing like Serum Visioning and stuff, and actually paying for a blue pact. Okay, so here he actually gets me if he has exactly Amulet plus Azusa plus Bounce Land plus Primetime. He needs to have all 4 cards. If he does not have any, if he has like 3 of those, I still win. If he... So he has the Vestige, that's fine. He drew the Rex Sage. Okay, Rex Sage does nothing. I guess he trades with Azusa. So I pay for a pact on upkeep. So that would be 12. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to transmute for Blue Pact, and that's it. I'm not going to double strike, because it doesn't have him dead. It doesn't actually kill him, and I want to for sure transmute on my turn. So I'm gonna pay like this, which is of course not going to allow me to pay for Pact to double strike him. And I guess Azusa's coming in too, because why not? If he wants to trade Rex Age for Azusa, it's okay for me. Teleria West, and I guess the 4th Growth Chamber. Oh, nah, Growth. Just to spice things up. Teleria West. Trades Azusa, that's fine. I don't care. I can still recast Azusa anyway. So, transmute. Blue. Blue. And I think it's more important for me to play the 2 scouts than playing the Azusa, so I'm gonna do it like this. Go get Pact of Negation. If he has Caverns, then he got me. If he does not have Caverns, then this is game. So we have 4 blue sources to pay for Pact and upkeep, so we should be good. Lotus Bloom is not coming off suspend yet. Get out of here, punt. Get out of here. He packs. Okay. So cool. So then this is still fine then, because we can double strike our prime time and he cannot, and he will have to pay for a blue pact on upkeep. He already played his land for turn, so he cannot go squatter my Sun home. So it basically costs me nothing to keep my Titan alive, and then his next turn he has 5 mana used, and Lotus Bloom is still not coming off suspend. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this one should be in the bag. All right. I think that. Yeah, I think it was a sweet game. Especially game 3 was very sweet with a lot of very interesting lines and possible plays that we could do. So that was cool. What did he bounce? He bounced Crumbly Vestige. Okay, so he has a Vestige in hand. So we do not pay for our Pact on upkeep. We did not pay for Pact because that's not a... I guess it's an irrelevant draw. He countered our Pact, that's why we're not paying for a Pact. So he will have to pay for his Pact, but we are not paying for our Pact. Actually, we can like cheese him out. We can kill him on upkeep. Let's do that. Because Lotus Bloom is still not coming out. Oh, we already used Ghost Quarter. Never mind. We cannot do that. That's unfortunate. So we attack Teleria West. I mean, I guess we can Vesuva copy his Ghost Quarter. Just because we can. But I think it's just better to... Oh, we can actually do that and go with another prime time. Is that a thing? With 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the double strike. We can transmute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 1 mana away from doing that. Okay, so never mind. We're just going to... We can't go squatter him, as I just said, so we're just going to do this. I guess we're holding up Spell Pierce on their turn. I guess the Tribe Scout could have come in. It was free. I just missed on 2 damage for no reason. I will strike this dude. Take 6, kill your primetime. Now we transmute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're 1 mana short, which is really unfortunate. So 1, 2, 3 play Azusa, I guess. Yeah, I think he's dead anyway. He's gonna have to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on upkeep. Yeah, he's dead. I'm still holding up Spell Pierce through this Gemstone Mine. Yeah, I honestly forgot to just. I was supposed to just like right-click attack all, because what that does is it basically, even if he deals with the prime time and you know these 3 dudes are still lethal. Because he would be at 3 instead of 5. Pays for a pact. He only has 3 mana. I don't think he can stop me with just 3 mana. With the Spell Pierce. So he has so Bounce Land, and he has a Vestige and a Gemstone in hand. Gemstone. I really doubt that he's playing some kind of meme card, so I'm just gonna do it. There's no way he's playing a meme card. Actually, I'm gonna play like this. So pay 6. Primeval Titan. Oops, yes. Slayer Stronghold, Basimic Growth. Bounce. Is he gonna Ghost Quarter me? Because that would be fun. Yeah, okay, sure. I love that he's taking it like a champ. Respect. Play this. Go to combat. Now we get Colony Garden for value and like a gemstone, I guess. It just doesn't matter here. Oh, I guess I can Vesuva copy Sunhome. But this is lethal, unless he has Angel's Grace. Okay. Another 5-0. Clearly proved which list is better. GG's, man. And we clearly proved that Amulet is secretly one of the best decks in Modern. With both me and Punt both playing for the 4-0 and actually like eliminating each other. I know, right, Archmage? It's just too good. Amulet is just too good. So this was the list that I played. Honestly, like the 4 Grow Turf thing might just be the way to go. There wasn't really any game where I really needed. Yeah, Van Wedge. Here's the list. It's kind of difficult to show here because it kind of doesn't fit the whole thing in here. Yeah, so let me close it and open it up. So here is like, easier to see because here I can move these cards over here. So this is the list we just played. This is card for card the list that Daryl Ayers played at the SCG Open. this past weekend. He top 8'd. Thanks, Font. It was a sweet game. Yeah, there were a lot of decisions that we went through. Especially I think we played around Slaughter Pact very nicely with that on that very last game, and then you ended up having the Slaughter Pact. Because what I was saying is that you only had like the Simic growth and you had the Golgari Rot farm, but what I was saying was that you cannot really. The alternative was that I could go get a Bounce Land and a Ghost Quarter, but what I was saying is that if you untap and play another Black Source, you just pack my Prime Time and then I'm dead. I just fall super behind. So that's why we played the way we did it, and I actually on that specific turn I actually had to go get a Tulare West in order to set up the next Prime Time. So I did that basically exclusively because I know your list and I know that you are for sure 100% bringing in the Slaughter Pact. So yeah. And yes, Van Wedge, this deck is actually quite real. Honestly, I think the reason that you don't see it putting up more results is because the learning curve it's actually super steep. It definitely takes a long time to be able to be proficient with the deck, and the deck is extremely punishing. It's extremely punishing. You always need to know what your outs are and what sequence of cards actually get you out of a rough situation or something. And something like against in game 2, for example, Punt made a mistake where he did not hold up a Bounce Land in hand, and he instead played that Bounce Land and versus playing another one of the lands that he had in hand. And what that did is he drew exactly Amulet. And because he drew exactly Amulet, that very turn he would have been able to transmute and go get a Prime Time and play a Prime Time that specific turn. Whereas because he did have the Bounce Land in play instead of in hand, he wasn't able to, and he actually had to wait for a whole turn cycle. And those are the kind of mistakes that can definitely punish you and take a losing game into a winning one. If I happen to be on KCI and that small mistake that he made puts him one turn behind, he probably just loses the match instead of just winning. So that's why it's rough. And yes, the Titans are. I guess Titans and Ballista can probably count as a win con. In this specific list, then yes, the Primeval Titans are your only win condition. Post board you have Hornet Queen and Rurik Thar, which can do some work, especially against specific matchups. Hornet Queen is incredible, stabilizing against Affinity and stuff, and Rurik is really good against Storm, KCI, against Control. He's actually quite good as well, stuff like that. But yes, the Titans are the only win cons. If you look at, this is the list that we just played against. This is Punt and Wine's list. If you see, you actually have Hive Minds here. Hive Minds are an alternate win con that when you have a pact, you cast a pact, and you have a Hive Mind in play, Hive Mind actually creates a copy of that pact, and then your opponent is forced to cast it, and then more often than not they are not able to pay. You have both blue pacts and green pacts, and post board you have black pacts. So more often than not, your opponent is not actually able to pay for the pact. So the list that he likes running is this list, which is way more combo centric. So as you can see, you have more combo cards, and you actually have cantrips and like Serum Visions, and his mana base is actually tuned in order to accommodate that. Okay, that's why he's running Aether Hubs, he's running Crumble Vestige, he's running Gemstone Mine. Let me see who. Spider Space. Hey, thanks for the follow, dude. How's it going? Oh, by the way, yes. If you guys are enjoying the content, please feel free to hit that follow button right there, which of course is free. and whenever I go live, you can definitely catch my streams. He also has extra blue sources in order to facilitate casting Serum Vision. So you see that he's actually playing way more blue sources than we were playing. This list is a little bit more mid-rangey. So we actually have Sakura Tribe Scout. We have the full sets of Azuzas. We're playing Reclamation Sage. We're playing Explore. So you can see we're more interested in being more of a value kind of deck. Value deck with big payoffs, and then you have the actual combo at the end of their curve, of course, right? Primeval Titan, which becomes it's basically like a toolbox, except that the toolbox here are your lands. So you have Bojuke Bog against graveyard decks. You have Radiant Fountain to get life against burn, which came in super handy. We play against burn twice this past league. Which with this specific list it's a much worse matchup, because with the list I usually run, I'm running a couple of Obstinate Bailouts on the board, which are of course extremely good in that matchup. But we have a bunch of value lands with little effects here and there. You see, we have Ghost Quarter main deck. We have Grove of the Burn Willows, which is it's mostly here as both red-green land, but it's also randomly good against Death Shadow, for example. And then Primeval Titan usually can go get Slayer Stronghold and Boros Garrison. So when you fetch those lands with an Amulet in play, those lands get untapped, and then on the same turn that you cast a Primeval Titan, you are able to, by searching these two lands, you're able to give him +2/+0 and haste and vigilance, so you're able to attack with the Primeval Titan that same turn. So it's kind of like a combo, It's like a mini combo. That is of course on the other list. It's of course there as well. You see it right here. So there's Stronghold and the Boros Garrison. But this one is has some extra combos, like I just explained. So you will see that Ponded Wine sideboard is actually way more aimed to he has a way more combo-centric sideboard. Oh, Land Wedge, yes. This deck is something else, dude. This deck is something else. There's so much going on. And because there's so much going on and it's so punishing when you make mistakes, because Primeval Titan basically, any card that is a tutor basically, that makes you grab your deck and go get whatever you want, it opens up a ton of decisions. And all of those decisions have to be, you have to make sure that you know what amount of mana you can have on the following turn, and how to play around like a Ghost Quarter or a Fulminator Mage, or things like that. So the deck is actually extremely deep. There's a ton of different lines, and it always feels like there's a winning line somewhere. It always feels like if you lose, it's because you made a mistake and there was something better that you could have done. It doesn't feel like, sometimes, yes, you just don't draw your Primeval Titans and you just die with a bunch of mana in play. But, you also play 4, 8, 11 effective copies of Primeval Titan, because Tolaria West can transmute. You discard this from your hand and you go get a card with cost 0. So Tolaria West goes get a Summoner's Pact. Summoner's Pact go get Primeval Titan, and then that starts the chain going. Also, Primeval Titan can go get Simic Growth Chamber and Tolaria West, and your first Primeval Titan goes. Basically, you resolve the Primeval Titan. That Primeval Titan gets this, and Tolaria West. With the bounce trigger, you return the Tolaria West to your hand, and you can transmute that Tolaria West on the following turn, so you can again go get another Summoner's Pact, which goes get another Primeval Titan. So yes, as you can see, the deck is extremely resilient to removal. Creature removal is not the way that you want to fight this deck. Counter Magic is a little bit more annoying, but that is the reason why we have Cavern of Souls in the main deck, and we have a second Cavern of Souls in the sideboard. Because Counter Magic can actually be a little bit more annoying, because if they counter your Primeval Titan, then this Primeval Titan cannot go get the next one. But yes, so the deck is extremely resilient to removal. Also, sometimes your Primeval Titan can, if you are like in a racing situation, your Primeval Titan can go get like Radiant Fountain to gain you some life, and Colony Garden to gain you some life. You can also go get like Radiant Fountain and a Bounce Land. So then you bounce that Radiant Fountain and you replay it on the second main phase. So you're able to actually gain 4 life. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. The deck has a ton of different lines, and it takes a lot of practice and experience to be able to master it. And I've been playing the deck for over 3 years, and I still make stupid mistakes all the time, because you miscounted something or you didn't consider something else. So that's what make. Yeah, for sure, man. You can. I always save my VODs. So you can, in my channel, if you go to videos, you can actually see the full league we just played, and you can see some previous streams that we played before. So of course, you cannot watch them live right now, but I'm about to go anyway. I will probably stream again tomorrow. Oh yeah, no, this deck has existed for over 3 years. In fact, this deck was banned. This deck actually was, at one point, was the best deck in Modern. And it was banned. This card was banned. The deck used to play this card, which is called Summer Bloom, which is a sorcery for 2 mana, which allows you to play 3 additional lands this turn. So, with all of our, combo shenanigans, and by the way, thanks for the follow, Vanwedge, with all of these shenanigans, you were able to quite consistently play a Primeval Titan on turn 2, which, of course, as you can imagine, is not easy to beat. So when they banned this card, you see, if I want to play it here, it's with the border. This card is not legal in this deck's format. So without Summer Bloom, we are forced to playing, Explore and Sakura Tribe Scout, which are way worse than Summer Bloom. But the deck is still, it's still pretty good. No. This is the reason why Summer Bloom is banned. This is exclusively the reason. I have never heard of any lone deck that played Summer Bloom that was actually broken. This deck was legit broken. You could actually win on turn 1. Very, very, very rarely. You could somewhat consistently win on turn 2, and you can very consistently, I'm talking like over 50%, play a Primeval Titan on turn 2, and then that basically was like an effective win. That was an effective win, because there were only 2 cards in the format that actually interacted with that, were Spell Pierce and Spell Snare. Those were literally the only 2 cards in the entire Modern format that interacted with you being able to play a Primeval Titan on turn 2. And then you played a Primeval Titan, that Titan went and attacked for 8, and then with the attack trigger, you actually go ahead and you go get another Prime Time, like I just explained. So yeah, the deck was busted. The way it was just not okay for Modern. Now the deck is just fine. The deck is still a ton of fun. This is my pet deck. It has been for a long time, and the deck is still very, very playable. But only the issue that it has is that, again, the learning curve is extremely steep. So I guarantee that you will lose a lot when you just start playing this deck, because I did lose a lot when the deck was broken. Even when the deck was broken, I still lost a lot when I just started playing it. But the deck is extremely interesting, extremely rewarding, and for me it's basically the only deck I play in Modern nowadays, because it's the only one that just keeps me interested. But yeah, so to recap on the actual list, Second Cavern felt really good, to be honest. It was pretty sweet, just being able to naturally draw it. Even against Punt on that last game, on game 2, he actually ghost-quartered my Cavern, and then we top deck another Cavern. Which we were very unfortunately 1 mana short of casting a Prime Time, but because we had the second Cavern, yeah, no problem, Alwedge, let me know if you have any questions. Because we had a second Cavern, we actually were able to, we would have been able to, if we had a second mana, we would have actually probably won that game. where we were, very far behind. But because we had Amulet and Pont already had used his cavern, I think we would have actually been able to turn that game around. I'm not sure about that. I would have to see the bots and see what's up. But he actually used his Tulare West to transmute for a blue pact. So if we had one extra mana, we would have been able to play the cavern and do our thing with an uncounterable Titan. Of course, he went and he got the blue pact because he knew that there was no way that we could actually even if we had a second cavern, that we would be able to have at maximum 5 mana. So that's why he do that. So probably he would have had a different line if he knew that we could have had a second cavern. But anyway, against control seems amazing, just because it's really good to just naturally draw it. We also played against we only played against Bogles, Burn, Humans, Burn again, and then we played against Amulet Bloom. So I guess that it was only in that matchup that cavern was actually good, but still, it felt good. And if we had played against any control deck, of course, cavern would have been the best card in our deck. Besides that, this is the only thing that I'm not totally on board with. Relic seems like... I've been saying that I wanted to play a third Spell Pierce for a while, so this is actually kind of sweet, the fact that he actually is playing the 3 Spell Pierces. But there's something about the 2 Relics that I just don't... that I don't really get behind. Just the card seems so underpowered. It seems like holding up mana, holding up even the single mana against the decks where you really want Relic is actually not easy. Because I don't think you want Relic against a Hollow one, for example. I think it's extremely slow and it's just not worth a card. I know it cycles, but the 2 mana and the tempo loss is just not something you can afford in that matchup. I guess it's better against Death Shadow. Against Death Shadow, I would definitely want to have a Relic. Against Jund, I would probably play Relic, but against Jund, I'd rather have Baloth anyway. Obstinate. Against Jund, I would rather these 2 be Baloths anyway, and these 2 are actually, if I actually have Baloths, these are actually really good against Mardu as well. Though I guess Relic is good against Mardu, but they have 4 Kolaghan's Command, which this makes Kolaghan's Command good, but Baloth makes Kolaghan's Command bad. So in that sense, I think I'd rather have Baloth against Mardu in particular. I don't think it's that good against control though. Yeah, it kind of messes up with their logic knots. It messes up with their Ascanta, I guess, but Ascanta accrues value anyway, and it messes up with their snaps. So that's what it does. But against control, against control, I'd much rather draw... I guess that Baloth is not good against control. I'd much rather draw a tracker against control. I'd much rather draw a tracker against Jund as well. I'd much rather draw a tracker against Mardu as well. So that's the thing I'm iffy about. Firespout against... I understand why he's running Firespout. It's better against humans because it kills Mantis Rider, it kills a Meddling Mage after the stupid it kills a Meddling Mage after Thalia's Lieutenant. That's what I wanted to say. It kills Meddling Mage after there's been a Thalia's Lieutenant trigger, but still, Meddling Mage can actually name Firespout, and it basically kind of gets both of your sweepers. And the instant speed it's just so relevant in some matchups. It's just so amazingly relevant. Against Dredge and stuff like that, being able to instant speed play a Cosmic Return and kind of like blank one of their combat steps. Against Affinity, being able to kill manlands and stuff like that. No, Filth, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to play more tomorrow. Tomorrow I will see if I can actually sneak in 2 leagues instead of just 1. So no, unfortunately I'm not going to be playing anymore. Feel free to follow, and you can receive a notification, or you can see me in your following tag tomorrow when I do stream. I'm just wrapping up because we tried out. This is Daryl Ayers' list from the Open from this past weekend. But yeah, so those are the thoughts that I have. I actually have been enjoying the split between Coastal Return and Firespout, a big deal. The 3 upgrades felt pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. The 3 upgrades are actually quite good right now. Being able to, even against Pont, being able to kill their Amulet was just amazing. To be fair, we did not play against Hollow One. I think against Hollow One in particular, Dismember might be better. And against Death Shadow in particular, Dismember might also be better than a Braid, because killing Gurmagangler and like Tassigers and Tarmogoyf, I guess, against Jund is so much better. Like against Jund, for example, I don't think I would bring all 3 upgrades. I think I would bring like 1 or 2 because they are playing Dumping Sphere now, and a Brave kills both Bob and Dumping Sphere and like small oozes. So I think I want a couple of upgrades, but like Dismember is so much better. Just being able to kill Tarmogoyf and even like tempo positive in a tempo positive way is it's so huge in that matchup. Because stopping their clock is paramount. If given enough time, you will win probably. So you need to stop their clock and the Lilianas. So Dismember is better against that matchup in particular. But I don't know. Tomorrow I will probably run just 1 league with this, and then if I have time, I will run another league with my list and see what my thoughts are afterwards. After running them back to back, see how I feel about it. But yeah, so that's gonna be all for me today. I will stream again tomorrow. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to follow. Hit the follow button. It's of course free. And if you want to ask me any questions, of course you can send me a whisper. You can talk to me on the Discord, the Amulet Discord. And yeah, we'll definitely run some more Amulet tomorrow, and maybe either another Amulet League, or maybe some Legacy, because I have some Legacy lists that I really wanna try out. A new Maverick list that I saw in the 5-0s, and then there's kind of like a Maverick with Chalice list that I thought was super interesting, that I kind of want to try out. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.